To make the paper, you take large stalks from the papyrus plant, you strip out the outer layers and you end up with the heart, and you slice it into thin slices and you make like a lattice. You lay the first layer down in rows and then perpendicular the second layer on top in columns and squeeze it very tightly. And as it dries, the fibres in the two layers fuse together and you end up with a nice piece of paper. It's for the top people to be buried with because it's an expensive material. We're very lucky to have two full papyrus from the start to the end. Quite often, because of the size of such objects, they were sliced up into more manageable pieces so that they could be stored easier, whereas ours are still at their full length.
They had remained pretty much untouched since they were first acquired by the museum back in the mid-19th century. So firstly, we unframed the objects, which enabled a much more detailed examination of the structure of the papyrus, and we reduced the amount of brown card backing around the edges, and if there was any loose or flaking media, we used a weak adhesive to consolidate this. We did this alongside the use of non-invasive scientific analysis using photomicrographs and ultraviolet light. Through this analysis and treatment, we've gained not only a greater understanding of their sensitivities, but also we see how unique they are in terms of manufacture and content. There is the presence of a very bright pink media. Madder is a plant-based pigment and is known to fluoresce under ultraviolet light, and the analysis did show some fluorescence. It's quite rare to see this on a funerary papyrus.
We have on each papyrus two scripts, hieratic on the top and demotic on the bottom, so that we're making sure that whoever's performing the rituals and the rites that go with the mummification can always get the right understanding. It's catering for all eventualities. The vignettes above illustrate different elements of the text below. We see the mummification process for Montsuef, and we see different gods bounding around him, different stages. So you have different little scenes that aid the understanding below. They have the details of their life down to a T, so we know the exact date that each of them was born and when they died as well. And we know that Tanuat died only 48 days after her husband, Montsuef.